Hello friends, welcome to my channel. This is Charan. In this video tutorial, I will explain in Django web application how to create a dynamic cascading or dependent drop-down list control from mysql PHP my admin database with jQuery snippet. Now before reload the browser, let's check first in this product all the files, all the records from the products from this product table is displaying here, and all the items from the items table is displaying in this drop down list. Now let's reload the browser. See, after adding the jQuery functionality, the second drop down list is not showing any items. Now let's select, I'm selecting the fruits. See here, displaying only the fruit items only from this item names. Here we got apple, mango and kiwis. Apple, mango and kiwis. Let's select the colors. We got the red, blue, green and white. If I select cars, we got the cars. We have only 2 cars. That's it. If you are a first time visitor to my channel, please subscribe to get the latest updates. Before creating a new Django web application, first we'll check the tables in PHP my admin database, which is MySQL server. The tables for this example, I have taken 2 tables. One is a product table which contains 2 columns, PID, the product ID and product name. The product ID column is the auto-generate column. Right now this product table contains 3 records. The products are cars, fruits and colors. Now let's check the second table. The second table is the items table, and this table contains 3 columns, the item ID, item name and product ID. The item ID column is the auto-generate column, and the items contains the Honda, the car model name and the fruits names and the color names. And the last column is a PID, which is the product ID. Here, when we want to communicate with the 2 tables, at least one column must be similar between the 2 tables. If you notice here, the product ID from this items table, and also in the product table also there is a PID column. So with the help of these PID columns, I will create a cascading drop-down list, which is a dependent drop-down list elements in Django web application using jQuery functionality. So let's create a new Django web application. Before creating a new Django web application, first we require one new folder. So I'm creating a new folder in this E drive. Right click the mouse, go to new and select folder. The folder name is cascading drop down list Django. Enter. Let's browse this folder. Right now this folder is totally empty. Now we'll create a new web application, Django web application in this folder. I'm using Visual Studio Code to create a Django web application, but before that we need to add the folder which we have created in the E drive. So for that, go to file and select open folder, and the folder I have created in the E drive, and the folder name is a cascading DDL Django. Let's select folder. And here the folder is added successfully to our Visual Studio Explorer panel. At the right side we got the welcome page. Let's close this welcome page. Now we'll create a new application in this folder. For that, go to view and select terminal. Here we got our terminal, which is nothing but a PowerShell or command prompt. And also notice the path is the cascading DDL Django, which is our project folder name, is in the E drive. The path is E drive. Let's create an application in this folder, Django-admin start project, and the project name is, let's add the cascading DDL. Enter. The cascading DDL is my application name, and notice here the application is created successfully in this folder. Let me expand this application. If you notice in this application there is one subfolder with the same project name and one manage.py file. Let me allow to expand this subfolder also. When I expand the subfolder, there is some default Python files are added automatically, like settings.py, urls.py. All these files and folders has been created automatically when I create this application cascading DDL. So after creating the cascading drop-down list, the application next step will create one new templates folder to our application. So select the application name, right click the mouse, click new folder. The folder name is a templates folder. Now in this templates folder, all my templates pages like indexed HTML pages, I'm adding in this templates folder only. So right click the templates folder, click new file, and the file name is index.html, enter. And here we got our HTML page. Now after that, before adding the designing part to this HTML page, first we'll add the models page in the subfolder of our application. Select the subfolder, right click the mouse, click new file, and the file name is models.py, enter. And here we got our models page. Now in this models page contains the properties, the table properties and the table names. So before that, let's import the models page from django.db import models. After that, let's define a class called we create a models. So in a table, if you check in our database, there are two tables. One is the product table. So the class name, I'm adding the product model, which contains the models.model. M is capital here. After that, in this class, I'm defining the properties. If you check in our table, there are two columns in this product table. So PID and PNAME. Let's add those ones. PID is equals to models dot integer field. The data type is integer, and this column is a primary key. I'm adding true. Then product name is equals to models dot char field, and the length I'm adding maximum length is equals to 100. After that, I'm adding another class called meta class. In this meta class, I'm adding the db underscore table, small table is equals to, we'll add our table name. So let's grab our table name is the product table, copy that one and paste here. That's it. Let's save this file, product table, and let's create a second model class, and the second table is the items table. So let's add the item model models dot model. Let's add the properties. The properties are item ID, item name and PID. So here item ID is equals to models dot integer field. The data type is integer field and it's a primary key which is true. Then I'm adding the item name is equals to models dot char field. The data type is char field, and I'm adding the length for this field is 100 max length. Then the PID column, the product ID column also I'm adding here. The PID is equals to models dot integer field. After that, let's add the last class name called meta class in this model, and this meta class contains db underscore table is equals to, let's add our table name. The second table name is items table. Let's copy that one and paste here. That's it. Let's save this file, save all. And now the next step, we'll add the views page in the subfolder of our application. Right click the subfolder, click new file. The file name is views.py, and here in this views Python page contains the actual logic to fetch records from that models. But before that, we'll add the necessary classes. First, we require the render class from Django shortcuts import render class. In Django applications, when we want to render the templates, the index.html pages on the browsers, we require this render class. After that, we'll add from the model the class names. My model page is inside this cascading DDL. So let's add my application name dot models import. First one is a product model, the class names from the models class, and the second class name is item model. That's it. Now let's define a function def, and the function is display cascading and drop down list items is a function name, and this function takes a request, and this function return. I'm rendering the request. I'm requesting the templates index.html. These templates I'm requesting with the help of this method. And the third parameter to fetch the records from these models. So let's define the product object is equals to product model, it's a capital P product model dot objects dot all method, and item object is a variable, item object is a variable, item model dot objects dot all method. Now let's add these objects, the variables, to this render method. For that I am implementing the dictionary to add the values within curly brackets, double quotes. A dictionary contains the keys and values. Here the keys, the key name you can give anything. Here I am giving the product key, product data. Let's give the product data column. The values we are getting from this object, product object, comma, again between double quotes. Let's add the item data. Item data is a key for the second values. The values we are getting from this item object. That's it. Let's save this file. Save all. After that, let's configure the URLs. In the URLs, first import the views page from .import views, and in the URL patterns path in single quotes, I'm not adding anything in this single quotes, which means this path will become the default web page to our application. Views dot I want to render this index.html page in the browser with the help of this function name. So copy that function name and paste here. That's it. Let's save this file. We have configured the URLs also. Now the most important setup. Now the next step is the most important. We need to configure our application templates and the database connection string in the settings of PY. Let's open the settings of PY. In the settings of PY, notice in the install_apps, let's add our application name. My application name is cascading DDL. Copy that one and paste here. Then come to the bottom in the template section. We need to configure my templates os.path.join method. So I'm joining my templates folder with the base directory using this join method. So base directory, comma, between single quotes, I'm adding the templates, which is our folder name. That's this templates folder. Then come to the bottom and notice in the settings of PY there is a database section. In the database says the default database engine is the SQLite 3, but here we are using MySQL database. And also remove this default database name. Our database name is, let's go and find out the database is Charan. I have created these both tables in this database Charan. So let's add the database Charan, comma. After that we require the credentials, the username, which is a root, and the password. Here the password I'm leaving blank because I don't have any password to log into my PHP my admin database. If you have any password, please enter here in this single quotes in the password section. After that, we require the host also. The host is localhost and the port number of our database. Let's find out the port number of MySQL. Here it is, the port number is 3308. Let's add that number here, the port number 3308. And the last one, we require the options, colon between curly brackets. Let's initialize the command. The command is I'm setting the SQL mode, SQL underscore mode is equals to between single quotes. The command is strict underscore trans underscore tables. That's it. We have configured the databases also, the connection string in this settings.py. Let's save this file. And now switch over to the index.html. We'll add the designing part and fetch the records from that models. Doc type, let's add the HTML. In the HTML, I'm adding the header section. In the header section, I'm adding the title tag. The title tag is how to create cascading or dependent drop-down list, and I'm adding body tag after the header tags and the HTML elements. Inside the body tag, I'm adding the center tag, and inside the center tag, I'm adding the headings in the H1 header. How to create instead of writing this part, I'm copying and pasting here, creating a cascading dependent drop-down list using jQuery. In Django web application. After that, I'm adding horizontal line. After the horizontal line, I'm adding the select option elements, which is nothing but a drop-down list. And this option, the first one, I'm adding select product, and this option, the disabled selector false, selector is equals to true. Let's add this true within single quotes. After that, I'm adding another option to display the product items. These product items, the cost, fruits, and colors in this select option element. For that, I'm using for loop to fetch the records between curly brackets, percentage for it's a product. Products is a variable in. Let's add this product data, the key value, the dictionary key for the product object. Let's copy that one and paste here. And let's close this for loop using end for. After that, let's define the value is equals to between double quotes, double curly brackets. I'm adding products dot. Let's add our column name, which is a PID, and I want to display the product names also. So again, products dot. I'm adding this P name. That's it. Now let's copy this one and paste here, and this one here for items to display the item names in the second drop down list. This is the second drop down list. Instead of select product, I'm adding select items. This one, let's add the key of the item object, which is the item data. Copy that one and paste here. So here, the instead of products, I'm adding the items. This variable I'm adding here, and this variable items dot. Instead of p name, I'm adding item name. And here the node is in the value section. I have added the product ID column in both. So with the help of this product ID relation, I fetch the related items of the products. That's it. Let's save this file, save all. We'll check the output before implementing the jQuery functionality. So first we need to add our application name to this path, cd, the cascading DDL application name. After that, let's run the server, python manage.py, run server, enter. And see here, after I run the server, we don't have any issues. Below is our web server link. Let's control plus mouse click to browse this application. And here we got the output. Notice the first drop down list, we got the product names from the product table, cars, fruits and colors. Cars, fruits and colors. And the second items, notice I got all the items from this items table. So Honda, the car items, fruit items and color items. Now my aim is, when a user select the particular product, for example, if a user selects the fruits, I want to only first display only the fruit names like apple, mango, kiwi. If a user selects the cars, I want to display the cars only. So that functionality I will achieve with using jQuery. So when we are implementing the jQuery functionality in our application, first thing we require the latest jQuery CDN link. So let's grab that latest jQuery CDN, jQuery latest CDN, CDN Google. And from the search results, I'm selecting the hosted libraries. Let's browse that one. In the hosted libraries, notice in the libraries section, there is a script which is our jQuery snippet CDN link. Let's copy that one. The version I'm using 3.5.1. So let's copy that one and paste in the header section after the title. After that, we add the script. Inside the script, let's close the script first. The script. Now inside the script, we'll add the snippet. When a user selects the first product items, I want to get the related items of the product in the second drop-down list. So first we require the IDs of this select. ID is equals to product DDL, and for the second ID I'm adding the item DDL. So after that, go to top. Let's define here $document dot ready function, curly brackets. Let's close this one. Now with this ready function, I'm declaring a variables, two variables, because we have two drop-down lists. Dollar product product of variable var is equals to dollar this variable for this first drop-down list ID between double quotes. When we are adding IDs in the jQuery or JavaScript, we need to prefix with hash product DDL colon semicolon, and the second variable dollar item variable is equals to dollar. Again, let's add the hash. I'm adding this item ID, item DDL semicolon. Now let's declare the options. Dollar options is equals to, options is a variable, and this option variable is to find the selected option from the drop down list 2. So here I'm adding item variable dot find method. Now in this find method, I'm adding the options I want to display, option semicolon. Now after finding the records from these options, Now to display the records, for that I am using on-click event. So when user selects the first drop-down list, the product items, I want to display the related items of that product in the second drop-down list using on event $product variable dot on event. On is a change event, on method change event. Let's add the function, add the semicolon. Now after that I want to filter the options from the drop down list to $item variable second drop down list id dot html. I'm filtering the records with the help of these options, $options dot filter between single quotes and square brackets. The values I want to display, value is equals to, now add the double quotes, again single quotes, plus this dot value, close with semicolon and dot. Now I'm adding the trigger change event name. That's it. We have written the snippet. Let's save this file, save all. Now switch over to the coding browser. Now before reload the browser, let's check first in this product all the files, all the records from the products from this product table is displaying here, and all the items from the items table is displaying in this drop down list. Now let's reload the browser. See, after adding the jQuery functionality, the second drop down list is not showing any items. Now let's select, I'm selecting the fruits. See here, displaying only the fruit items only from this item names. Here we got apple, mango and kiwis. Apple, mango and kiwis. Let's select the colors. We got the red, blue, green and white. If I select cars, we got the cars. We have only 2 cars. That's it.